Hey traders, checking in on the stock market today. So bears keeping the short-term control as we picked up where we left off last week with big tech leading the way to the downside, semiconductors following along. We're now approaching daily oversold conditions in QQQ. We're in daily oversold conditions. Is it time to buy the dip? What about our monthly higher lows? I'll let you know what my game plan is, and perhaps that can help you establish your own. So looking at the S&P 500 futures charts, and again, I like to use the futures charts when there's more activity in extended hours and more volatility because there's key little differences. For example, look at SPY. We broke the low of Friday today to a lower low and lacked much follow through. But if you look at the S&P 500 futures, we did not break the low of Friday. It was a daily inside bar. That's a pretty notable difference between the two. So we're going to be watching that key short-term level. The bulls overnight tonight will have to confirm an hourly trend change if we're going to have confidence that that level can hold. And we'll see if we start tomorrow morning as a daily inside bar on the S&P 500 futures chart. If we break support and head to a lower low, we'll be approaching daily oversold conditions, but still not there quite yet. SPY will be looking down at 421.97 as the next level. And we're watching the hourly downtrend. And at the end of today, we knew we were just looking for an hourly lower high to form. And it's just a question of, is it a bear flag or not? And we'll see what the overnight trading session does. The NASDAQ is continuing to lead the way to the downside. So looking at QQQ, daily RSI is now at 30, right under it. We're at 29. So, bigger picture, aggressive bulls are keeping an eye out for oversold daily conditions to be scouting monthly higher low entries. There's tons of space for a monthly higher low still. I'd like to be a bit more extreme. What I like to see, if I'm going to be aggressive playing dips, is as many timeframes oversold as possible. I want the daily RSI in the mid to low 20s. I want the hourly RSI down there, 15-minute, 5-minute. You give me all those hourly, you give me all those levels oversold, and I start scaling in for the bounce. And then I scale out some on the bounce, and what my game plan is exactly what I did today on my day trading. And I went 0 for 2 today on bounce attempts day trading, one on NVDA and one on QQQ, and I lost $0. And the reason I did is because I sold half position into the bounce. I had good timing on my bounce entries as far as short-term bounces taking place, just to 5-minute lower highs. I sell my partial position, I put my stop under the low, and then eventually I stop out. And I'm looking to do the same thing bigger picture. I did this with Bitcoin. So Bitcoin was looking for a monthly higher low. We were in a downtrend on the weekly, daily, 4-hour, hourly, 5-minute, all the way down. We were oversold on all those time frames. So here's the monthly. I was looking for the monthly higher low, and I made an entry on the break of 30,000 psychological. I sold partial on a short-term bounce. I put my stop under 28.8. I had zero risk on that trade, and I am still in that position, which is currently up nicely. I'm looking to do the same thing in the stock market world. What my superpower will be is my complete lack of care if I miss the bounce. Why is that a superpower? Because that ensures the trade comes to me in ideal conditions. If I'm fearing missing this bounce, I'm going to potentially scale in too early. But you have to keep in mind that I personally am in a conservative mindset. I'm very pleased with how the year has gone. I'm at 3 times of what my initial goal was as far as profit on the year. And my number one priority is don't give any of that back. The worst thing I could do right now is aggressively start scaling into swing positions. And next thing you know, the market falls apart and sees daily RSI in the teens because China and Taiwan start firing missiles. That's not likely, but it's a possibility. So I am not going to put myself in a position where that's even possible. So I am going to be very patient and picky. So if QQQ and SPY, daily RSI, get more extreme and SPY hits daily oversold, then I'm going to start getting interested. I'll probably just play the ETFs. I'll probably just add to my SPY position. And if I don't get any entries and the bounce takes place and monthly higher lows are set, I'll benefit from my SPY no-touch position that I grabbed during the COVID dump. So again, my mistakes will be leaving money on the table, not losing money. So you can have that game plan with a ton of these individual names. There's a ton of names looking for monthly higher lows. And again, it's possible that we see daily oversold and then we bounce and continue a downtrend, that's why you got to exit partial positions on the daily bounce to protect yourself. And there's nothing better than being in risk-free positions where worst case you stop out. And what that also does is it gives me the capital back to try again. So I would have, I stopped out break even and I tried another bounce on QQQ and then I stopped out break even. And I had the door open to try another bounce if I wanted to. I'm not going to have a day loser, day loser, day loser and keep trying the same thing. But if you stop out, break even, or tiny loss, you've got the capital back and you can just patiently wait for the next opportunity for a very similar trade setup. So that is my game plan as far as approaching monthly higher lows, bigger picture. But we're not beat up enough yet for me to just scale in to this weakness. Gap down tomorrow, and I'll be interested in starting that process. Financial sector. So we started out this morning with our usual being over the last bunch of months, not the last couple of weeks, but inverse relationship between XLF and QQQ, where we open, QQQ drops the first 10 minutes, and XLF does nothing but go up. And it was more than 10 minutes. It was 25, 30 minutes, all bulls. And it was completely inverse to QQQ dropping. But then we rolled over in a big red flag because then all of our major sectors were hitting lows of the day at the same time. And the environment, the feel of the morning just drastically shifted once we confirmed the 5-minute downtrend on XLF because it was no longer holding up the broader market. We started the morning saying, okay, big tech still weak, QQQ, semiconductors, they're all weak just like last week. But the financial sector is taking lead bull status here and is holding up the broader market a good bit. And then that stopped being the case. If you'll remember, back here, I was saying QQQ bulls are just fine. This consolidation is healthy. There's no red flags. If QQQ starts to see weakness and loses, uptrend or whatever I was saying, then it's a notable red flag for the broader market. And then that's what's happened. And now we're the lead bear after holding on. XLF and XLV were lead bears while QQQ was holding on just fine. So now I'm going to say the same thing for XLF. XLF on the daily, holding well. But if we lose this daily support, it's going to be a notable red flag again for the broader market because the strongest major sector will be confirming a daily downtrend and fading back towards our recent lows while our other sectors are still very weak. So QQQ, give me that daily RSI in the mid-20s. Give me an hourly RSI in the low 20s. Give me a 4-hour RSI in the low 20s. I'm interested in starting to get a little bit more aggressive. So XLF key support on the daily, it's all about 37.49. Daily lower high potentially being set, and a daily downtrend is confirmed if 37.49 breaks. Healthcare, it's been our lead bear. Volume increasing, highest volume in a very long time now. Since all the way back in June, daily RSI is in the mid-20s, 26. Weekly is a waterfall drop. Monthly is scouting a higher low. So aggressive bulls that like the healthcare sector, I am not one of them. I don't know anything about the healthcare sector fundamentally, so I'm not interested in playing it specifically. But if I were very bullish, the healthcare sector fundamentally, I'd be scouting a monthly higher low as the daily RSI gets crushed. Hourly downtrends are our guides. Bears are going to be waiting. XL or QQQ, let's say we get a daily bounce going, tons of space for a daily lower high. So bears will be waiting for daily lower highs. And I may even potentially be one of them. All depends on what the bounce looks like. So I have to keep that in mind as well. A start of a bounce, it's not, okay, great, we win. It's, all right, that's baby step number 1 to try and set a monthly higher low. We got to confirm a daily trend change. We have to see consistent follow through. And again, just bears controlling the majority of the day is still a consistent theme 4 out of the last 5 days for QQQ here. Biotech sector, weak. Daily inside bar, but closing down near the low. All about 118. So keeping a close eye on that 118 support. If that breaks, it will be very notable. And there is a potential bottom fishing play off of it if it does approach here in the next couple days on this waterfall drop. Growth name still weak. ARKK, weekly equilibrium bear break when the 113s broke. and it's following through. Daily RSI approaching oversold. Support 107.39, and then a lack of support. There's a gap at 103.24. Lower high every day for 7 days. Simple patterns. Bears have complete short-term control if that pattern remains. The VIX is in a nice tight range. The levels I care about this week, until one of them breaks, is either 2060 or 2489. And here we are right in the middle. And it's essentially a 4-hour equilibrium. Little double top, double bottom, right in the middle of that range. And I'm actually a little bit surprised. I would have expected a stronger close here. But keep an eye on the VIX, because if we can't break 2489, I would be keeping an eye out a little bit more confidently for a broader market bounce, at least in the short term. The dollar is still consolidating, scouting a daily higher low with still lots of space. Gold had a bull day today, so weekly higher low set on gold. Low, high, which was a double top, higher low, and now we're going to scout a weekly lower high, anything under 1834. Bulls are playing off of 1721 as a key support level, which must hold. If that level breaks, we're going to revisit the monthly double bottom. And watching for a tightening weekly range to continue on gold, probably into November. Silver is bouncing as well, but it's much weaker. Bigger picture, it's in a monthly, weekly, daily downtrend still. Have to change the daily trend to step number 1. Oil, daily bull flag confirmed. Energy sector, daily bull flag confirmed. Correlation to XLF, and certainly correlation to the price of oil. It's one of our strongest sectors out there. It's not impactful on SPY as far as its percentage holdings, but it's a strong chart. 56.65 key resistance approaching, and that is our many-month high. And that's a key level to keep an eye on. Natural gas has seen a good bit of volatility. I'm watching this pattern overnight. We have a pattern of 4-hour higher lows, so we can say the bulls keep complete control if the 4-hour higher lows remain. But if we lose the 4-hour higher lows, that's a daily lower high. So high of the breakout, daily higher low, and that will be a convincing lower high if we lose the 4-hour higher lows, and then bulls will have to be cautious of a potential confirmed daily downtrend. But we're not going to worry about that if 561.4 holds, because again, it's just 4-hour higher lows, every little pullback here. It's been very volatile on natural gas, but expecting that volatility to pick up a bit here later this week. So other than that, still keeping an eye on the really beat up names. But again, if the broader market's not going to bounce, those names are not going to bounce. And I'm talking about ADBE, which hit fresh lows today. Another big leg down. Daily RSI is down at 20. But again, it's the broader market daily RSI that matters more for me, because we're not going to bottom in any convincing way on individual names, on most individual names, unless the broader market bottoms as well. FDX, same thing, fresh lows. SAM was another one we were watching, fresh lows. So again, the broader market has to put in a bottom for beat up names to see any kind of bounces. So that is where we stand. Again, establish your game plan. You don't want to every day be scrambling, well, should I make a long-term entry today? It's very clear for me, I am not going to make a long-term entry if SPY is not daily oversold. So it's a very simple criteria. And then if the daily RSI gets oversold, okay, start enacting a game plan. So have those game plans pre-established. And at this point, hourly downtrends are our short-term guides. When the hourly trends change to the bulls, daily bounces will be underway. We will zoom out and scout daily lower highs with a lot of space for them to form on a lot of names. It's a big old bear in the yard this morning, first thing, giving signals about today's action. Posted a video on Twitter. Post a better video at the end of one of these videos once we finish Iceland clips. I think we have another few of those, and then we'll get back to some yard stuff. Not much going on in the yard in the fall here, but today was certainly exciting with a big old bear 20 feet away. All right. Do good things. Appreciate you watching. Establish those game plans. Have some stop losses. It can always get worse. It can always get uglier. A surprise headline can lead us to a gap down just when you think it can't drop anymore. So again, Definitely want to protect against that possibility as well. And one other thing that has me looking for monthly higher lows is the cryptocurrency space is still very strong. So that has me watching for monthly higher lows in the broader market. See you tomorrow.